the outset, or the main objectives of today's meeting is to receive a briefing on a research paper prepared for us on the inquiry into the Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute, and to consider the draft report on AFBI. Also, we've been asked if we would consider deferring the PSNI use of agency staff until next week. So I'd be looking for an agreement on that. Yeah.
Chair, we're happy enough to do that, but it has to be done next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Putting it back.
It takes over here, Dad.
Okay.
It will.
Chair, I always have declared an interest as Chair of the Audit and Risk Management Committee of the Policing Board. The Policing Board are getting very frustrated at what's seen as the lack of progress in this issue. And when you tell them, well, the committee have said they'll look at it next week seems to be a very movable feast in this committee. And it is causing some concern. And it just seems to be put off. So clearly, I for one would like to see it over and done with as quickly as possible, but I accept that you want to put it off for another week, and so be it.
Okay, thank you.
Party agreement, sure.
Yeah, okay. Just for the record, I don't think we've had any correspondence from the Policing Board on those concerns,
No,
but we'll know.
I'm advising you as Chair of the Audit and Risk Management Committee of the Policing Board that when we discussed this last week, I informed the members that my understanding was that this report would be considered by this committee today, and obviously that was my understanding, and that was the case. So there will be no correspondence from the Policing Board, but I'm advising you of my other plans.
Okay, thank you. Ross, sorry, Adrian and then Paul.
I just think that we've lost all credibility. I said this about 3 weeks ago. We've lost the credibility over this report now, and we're putting it off and off and off. It's just making it far worse. I think it's only the executive summary we have to agree. We can just go down, tell them, sort it out, and agree it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Paul.
Thank you, Chair. Just on that point, I think it is the executive summary which we want to clear up and maybe be able to move ahead, because we did spend 2 hours trying to agree probably one paragraph of that executive summary in 1 week, and I think we're down to small detail now, and I think if we set next week as the deadline, and we go ahead
Yeah, I think it can be
and try
agreed
and
on.
finish it for once and for all, and appreciate that there were other issues, some of which were played out in a more public forum, and by that I mean court, over recent days, which might ultimately have had some impact upon the final draft of this report. Should there have been a different result, albeit appreciate that it determined that there was no fraud associated with that aspect of it, and that came out. So in light of that, I think had we published and something had been a different report from a court hearing, we might have looked even more stupid. Well, it would look stupid for us to actually produce.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Paul. And I think maybe there might be 1 or 2 issues when we're in committee we might want to raise with CNAG, just maybe about some update on other information that's outstanding. Okay, so can we agree to defer? Yeah, agreed. Okay, thank you, members. I have apologies from Michael Copeland and the Deputy Chairperson, John Dallett. I do know Dahi Mackay and Chris Hazard are running late today, so no other apologies. Members, the minutes of the last meeting are at page 6 of your packs. If members are content, can I get an agreement to sign them into the record? Agreed. Okay, thank you. Members, under matters arising, we have correspondence from the NIA FOI unit. FOI request regarding the DCAL inquiry into the management of major capital projects. And at page 11 of your packs, you'll find that correspondence from the Assembly's FOI unit to the committee regarding this. And the details of the information that was requested are contained within this letter. So maybe if I ask the clerk for an update on the proposed response.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Just to say that having had a look through this request, the information that is being requested is can be found in published reports. So I think it's just a matter of extracting that information, either from the reports and also the minutes where decisions have been taken by the committee, and that should be suffice.
Okay, Trevor?
If it's, I mean, I thought the purpose of FOI was where things were in the public domain. If the report's in the public domain, then why not
Just refer.
furnish them a copy of the report rather than wasting or actually asking officers or staff to search for the answers they want? I would furnish them a copy of the report if it's in the public domain.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose just being, just to add to that, there are, there are paragraphs that it's quite easy just to refer them to.
Yeah,
But
well,
Chair-
I don't think I would waste the time. I mean, I think the purpose of FOI, and some people are sceptical, and I may be one of them, because quite often journalists use it, and it's I think it was described previously as lazy journalists. But if the report is there in its entirety, and all the questions they want answers in the report, then rather than you, Lucia, or anyone else in the Assembly team wasting their time identifying the areas they wish, give them the full report where all the answers are at. And I appreciate what you're saying, that it would be easy to signpost them. But the report's there. If the report's in the public domain, just give them a report.
Chair, in point 10, this person, whoever it may be, the Public Accounts Committee report states this person's read the report. This person knows exactly what has been said, and this does appear to be a waste of time, and I agree with Trevor. I would even be cheeky enough to say you clearly have already read the report. What part do you not understand? But that would be rude. But it's quite clear he's already got it, he has read it, she has read it, and I don't know what they're coming at there.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree. If you look at maybe point 6, I know we're in public session, but point 6, I mean, it's very clear publicly why we've asked that, and also on point 7 as well, and the minutes of the 20th of November, gives that as well also. So I think you're right to make that,
Take it by the line of questioning of this item number 7, that if they really want to, we can bring the chairman of the board as well at some other date.
well, if that's their wish, then I'm sure we'll grant it.
Question 14 is quite interesting.
Yeah,
There's clearly
the answer is no.
yeah,
An obligation.
Yeah, and,
but just to clarify,
Well, I
that,
think you do need to answer that.
was there not a situation where every MLA was sent something in relation to the Lyric Day? I remember I didn't go, but I remember there was some invitation came out to attend a certain show or a parade, I think.
I'm not
That was
sure.
all MLAs.
If it was to all MLAs, that is slightly different because the way this is
Question asked
worded,
to the
Public
it's
accounts.
to the
Specific to the,
Public Accounts Committee, and I mean, having checked through the records,
Nothing.
there's nothing to the Public Accounts Committee.
Yeah.
If it comes as an MLA, that's another matter, and not for this committee to have to respond to.
Yep.
yeah. And some of the comments that the author or some of the questions that he's looking to answer are very much the author's opinion. And, so just, I mean, question 5 also, that, as you can see, that's not a matter for us.
Can I say that there are questions there that, yes, are included within the report, but for argument's sake, the detail of them, like number 12, what date was the donation made? That is not indicated within the body of the report. So those sorts of information might need to be given. Yes, we know the donation of the 150,000 was made, but we don't know the date. Well, it's not included within the report, but we do have the date, I'm sure, within the files that are here, and it might be worthwhile making that.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, we've begun to review the information, so, what we'll do is I'll come back with a response for the committee to agree next week?
I just am of the opinion that whoever wrote this was trying to probably say, well, the donation was made after the award of the contract. You know, I think somebody who's a very close connection to the Derek has made this.
Well, when Lucia has the response done up, and I'm sure the response will reflect most of what is in the report. So, I mean, a copy of the report sent to the author also. So members agreed that Lucia will come back next week with the response, and we can all have a look at it, and if it's good to go, then forward it on. Okay, members, thank you. Members, moving on to agenda item 5, yeah. Members, I'll invite Kieran and his team to the table. We're going into closed session for this part of the committee.
I think this will be